Hi, I'm James from T3 and I'm here with the new Mac Pro. I was going to start by saying it's the most powerful consumer computer ever released, but whether you actually count it as a consumer product is something for debate. Obviously, being an Apple product, it's getting a lot of consumer attention, but there's so much power in here that you could only ever find its limits if you were running your own home version of Pixar. First off is the design. I mean, it's pretty unique. It's a first inside of aluminium plates, which hold all the extreme components in place, and then creates a space inside for all the kind of hot air and thermals. Thermals are sucked out the top by this big fan, and it kind of looks like it comes in from these down here, so hot air obviously rises out the top. So it makes for a pretty unique design and pretty funky. So obviously there's some hefty specs inside here, and don't expect to see any of the normal Intel tech you'd get in a MacBook Pro or any PC laptops. This is Intel Xeon E5 processor inside, which is essentially designed for servers. 7 teraflops of processing power inside, and that means that it's well set for video editing on a kind of Pixar level. You can have 3 4K TVs running off it at the same time. You could have, I think it's 16 4K streams all playing at the same time, and probably more impressively than either of those two, you can edit 4K live without any rendering at all, which never even heard specs like that before. Connectivity-wise, on the back of the tin, 6 Thunderbolt ports, and they're actually Thunderbolt 2, which I believe is an exclusive. And you've obviously got the normal array of USB and HDMI as well, so it's pretty well served in that department. So having all those Thunderbolt ports on the back means you can actually string these together to create essentially a server farm. Pretty expensive one at that, but would create some enormous power, especially for 4K editing. Here we've got a lock button, so let's, oh, it's a bit stiff, but unlock that, and hey presto, the inside. System itself is made of these aluminium panels with all of the high-powered tech attached to that. So you've got your Xeon processor there, the reverse mount for the hard drive, and RAM on both sides. I think in fact there's go up to 64GB of RAM on the most expensive option, which incidentally will set you back around £12,000, but on the standard ones there's 16GB and 12GB respectively. Inside that there is the hollow part, which will suck the hot air or the heat out of these components, and then this fan will remove it at the top. When you think of that size of gaming PCs, maybe running a i7 Extreme Edition with kind of nowhere near the power of this, will be huge rigs full of fans, water cooling to try and keep things down to a minimum and not have anything overheat. So as we said, there's no normal processor in here, there's no Core i7, just these server level Intel Xeons, but don't expect to find the normal graphics card in there either. There's actually 2 graphics cards, so again, moving into gaming PC level, but these are much higher end than your normal gaming PC. The 2 graphics cards are actually AMD FirePro, so not your normal Radeon 7000s, whatever you find in a gaming PC. These have got 2 or 3GB, depending on which option you go for, 2 or 3GB of GDDR5 RAM, so they can really handle some absolutely unbelievable power. That's pretty mad when you think that the PlayStation 4's got 8GB of GDDR5 memory, and this has got, well, 12 to 16GB of GDDR5 just for the system, and there's 2 to 3 on the graphics as well. So we'll just put this back together now. It's pretty easy, just slots straight over and clicks in. Well, I'm not sure about the glossy finish, and actually it must be one of the only Apple products, at least the headliner, with a shiny finish. I mean, I've got fingerprints all over it already, not that you'll be moving it around your Pixar studio that much. Maybe this is a clue of where design will be going next, but at the moment I'm not the biggest fan. I'd rather have seen the same matte finish that is kind of displayed across the rest of the Apple headliners. So much power and, yeah, so small.